Hey there, welcome back to a new episode of the Leading Yourself podcast. This month, we're talking about energy management. And last week, we kicked the month off naming something important. Time management alone isn't the full equation. This week, we're getting into the how, the exact habits, tools, and strategies that I use to manage my energy every single day. No theory, just what actually works. Now, I have a disclaimer for you. This is going to be a little longer than usual episode, but I promise it's going to be totally worth it. So let's get to it. Welcome to the Leading Yourself podcast. This is your host, Carolina de Arriba. I'm an HR professional, coach, wife, mom, and above all things, a goal-getter. In this podcast, we're going to be digging into all things leadership, professional and career development, habits, and relationships. This is a podcast for those who want to become the best version of themselves, those who have big dreams and are willing to embrace the journey and put in the work to achieve them. My goal is to share with you the tools, tips, and tricks to help you in your journey. So let's dig into today's episode. All right, let's cut to the chase. Energy management isn't some abstract concept you think about. It's something you practice. And here's what no one tells you. You don't need to overhaul your entire life. You just need 5 to 7 non-negotiable habits to protect your energy every single day. That's it. Not 50 things, not a complete life redesign, just a handful of practices that become as automatic as brushing your teeth. This is what changed for me. I stopped trying to do everything perfectly, and I started focusing on the things that move the needle most. And what I discovered is this: energy compounds. When you protect your energy in the morning, your afternoons are easier. When you restore your energy midday, your evening doesn't feel like survival mode. When you design your calendar around your energy, your whole week shifts. And one thing that most people miss is that before you manage your energy, you have to understand your energy. What gives you energy versus what drains your energy. And that's different for everyone. For some people, meetings are energizing. For others, they're exhausting. For some, being alone restores you. For others, connection is what fuels you. For some, intense workouts might create energy, while for others, gentle movement works better. There is no one size fits all, and I want to lead with that today. So the first step before we get into the tactics is awareness. You need to know what energizes you and what drains you. And we're going to do a simple energy audit together today. Don't worry, it's not complicated. It's actually really straightforward. We'll dig into this just in a bit. But first, I want to give you the framework. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you my exact toolkit. And we're going to be talking about the morning rituals that set me up for success, the calendar strategies that protect my energy all day, the daily resets that save me when I'm depleted. And we're going to end up with that energy audit process that helps me and is going to help you figure out your unique energy patterns. This is the stuff that I do whether I feel like it or not, because these habits create energy, the energy that I need. Here's how I want you to listen to today's podcast episode. I want you to take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And I'm going to invite you to pick 3 things that you're going to do this week. Not 10, just 3. Believe me, 3 small changes that stick beat any day 20 good ideas that you never implement. So let's start where your day starts, the morning. Your morning sets the tone for your entire day. So let me give you my non-negotiables, the things that make or break my energy for the day. Non-negotiable number 1, no phone for the first 30 minutes. This is the hardest one and probably the most important one. The second you check your phone, your brain shifts into reaction mode. You're responding, you're solving, you're answering, and now you've lost the best thinking time. Here's what happens. You see an email that bothers you, a text that needs response, a news story that activates you, and suddenly your nervous system is already activated before you even started your day. You're living in response to everyone else's priorities. So here's the rule: no phone until I've done something for me first. That can be a walk, journaling, coffee in silence, movement, whatever. But I protect those first 30 minutes like my life depends on it. Because honestly, my energy does depend on it. And here's what I've noticed: when I skip this, my whole day feels more reactive. When I do this, I feel more grounded, more in control, more intentional. You can start with just 15 minutes and see what happens. Don't check your phone until you've done one thing for yourself first. Non-negotiable number 2, move your body before you move your day. I don't care if it's a full workout, a walk, or stretching on your living room floor. Movement changes your state. It clears your mental fog. It regulates your nervous system. It tells your body, we're awake, we're here, we're ready. For me, most mornings, this is a 30-minute strength session or walk. But here's the key: I match my movement to my energy. If I wake up and I feel like I'm high energy, then I lift. I do something intense. If I'm low energy, instead I walk on my treadmill or maybe I do a yoga session. I feel exhausted, then I just stretch or do some breath work. The goal is not to punish yourself, it's to activate yourself. Movement metabolizes stress hormones from the day before. It literally changes your brain chemistry. And when you move first thing, you carry that energy into your whole day. The best news, you can start just with 10 minutes of movement. Just 10 minutes before you sit down at your desk can make a big difference in your energy throughout the day. Non-negotiable number 3, decide before your day decides for you. Before I even look at my calendar, I ask myself 3 questions. The first one is, how am I feeling right now? The second one is, when I look at my calendar, where is my highest demand of energy in the day? And number 3 is, what are my 3 non-negotiables for the day? The 3 things that no matter what, I want to get done today. This takes literally 2 minutes, but it changes everything because now I am designing my day around my capacity, not just my calendar. If my energy is high, I'm going to do that deep work first. I'm going to tackle the hard things while I'm sharp. If my energy is lower in the morning, then I adjust. Maybe I reschedule some meetings. Maybe I simplify my to-do list. Maybe I build an extra break throughout the day. The point is, I am in control, not my schedule. I'm working with my energy and not against my energy. For you, this can look like just opening your laptop in the morning and checking in with yourself for 2 minutes. Non-negotiable number 4, protein plus hydration before caffeine. Listen, if you know anything about me, you probably know that I love coffee. Coffee is one of my love languages, but here's what I've learned. Caffeine on an empty stomach with no water, it just setting yourself up for a crash later in the day. Here's what happens. Coffee spikes your cortisol. Your blood sugar drops, and by 10 a.m., you're exhausted. So now, this is what I do. First, I drink water. During my morning routine, I drink about 30 ounces of water before breakfast. Then I have a protein-packed breakfast, and then I have my coffee. It's been a game changer. My energy is more steady. My focus lasts longer. I don't hit that 2 p.m. wall as hard as I used to. Now, you might be asking, what does a protein breakfast look like? Where for me, I aim for 20 to 30 grams of protein. This can be eggs, Greek yogurt, a protein shake, whatever works for you. Just something substantial that stabilizes your blood sugar. If you don't know where to start with this one, start with just drinking a glass of water before your coffee. Then add some extra protein to your breakfast and you see you're gonna feel the difference. So when you start your morning with things like what I just shared, you're going to notice that these things create space before demand. They activate your body before your brain. They put you on the driver's seat before the world climbs in. That's the whole point. You're not waking up in reaction, you're waking up in intention. And that shift alone will change your days. So here's my challenge for you. Pick one of these 4 things, just one, master it, and then add another one. Now, I want to talk about and switch to the next topic of this toolkit, which is calendars. Because this is where energy management becomes visible. If you say energy matters, but your calendar doesn't reflect that, nothing changes. So here are my calendar rules, the ones that I live by and I don't break. Rule number 1, protect your peak energy hours. For me, that is between 8 a.m. and 12 p.m. That's when I'm the sharpest, when I think the clearest, when I'm at my best to make decisions. So here's where I try to schedule deep work, strategic thinking, important decisions, hard conversations. I don't waste those hours on emails. I don't fill them with meetings unless it's necessary. Now, I work on a global company, you might too, and mornings typically are heavy in meetings with people from other parts of the world. And that is totally okay. My workaround with that, because that was my excuse, and I'm thinking it might be yours as you're listening to me, is I block 1 hour between my peak hours, between 8 and 12, 1 hour that I call big rocks. That hour is for me to work on all the things that I mentioned, deep work, strategic thinking, important decisions, or having hard conversations. That way, I'm protecting at least 1 hour during my peak energy time to tackle those things. Because here's what I know. If I give my best energy away to low priority tasks, I have nothing left to work on what actually matters. Your move here should be to identify your peak energy time. For some of you, that might be your morning like me, or maybe it's your afternoon, or maybe it's your evening like my husband. There is no right answer. There is your answer. Block that time. Protect it like a meeting with your CEO. And don't let other people's urgencies steal that time from you. Rule number 2, batch similar tasks. Context switching drains energy faster than almost anything. So I batch. All meetings in one block, usually afternoons, all admin work together, all creative work when my brain is open, all emails in 2 to 3 time blocks instead of checking them constantly. Why? Because every time you switch context, your brain has to reboot. You go from creative thinking to responding to emails to a meeting to deep work. Each switch is costing you. Research shows that it takes about 23 minutes on average to fully refocus after an interruption. So if you're switching contexts every 30 minutes, you never actually get into deep work. Your move here? Well, look at your week. Where can you batch some similar tasks? Can you do all your meetings in 2 days instead of spread it across 5? Or can you consolidate them in a certain time frame during the day? Can you batch all your admin work into one afternoon block? Try it for a week and see the difference. Rule number 3, the sandwich strategy. This is a big one. If I have a draining meeting or a tough conversation, I don't schedule it in isolation. I sandwich it between things that energize me. Here's what I mean. Let's say that I have a difficult performance review at 2 p.m. I know that's going to drain me both emotionally and mentally. So I design it around before it. I do like a 15-minute break where I can go for a walk or move my body or ground myself or set intentions for the meeting. Something that energizes me and puts me in the right headspace. And then Right after the meeting, I schedule lighter tasks, maybe some admin work, maybe checking emails, or maybe just working on a project that I enjoy, something that doesn't require heavy lifting. And I build at least 15 minutes of buffer time to decompress. So instead of draining meeting, draining meeting, draining meeting, I do energizing activity, draining meeting, buffer, light task. This is crucial. The sandwich isn't about rest, it's about strategically placing things that energize you around the things that drain you. So think about what actually gives you energy. Is it going for a walk, a quick call with a friend, working on a project that you love, moving your body? Put those things before the hard things to set yourself up well. And put something that restores you or something lighter after so you don't crash. Rule number 4, white space is not optional. Here's what I used to do. I used to pack my calendar back to back because I could. Now, in full disclosure, there are days I still do that out of necessity. But the days that I work like that, by 3 p.m., I'm fried. Not because the meetings are bad, but because I give myself zero recovery time. Now, here's what I try to do now. I try to build in buffer time between everything. 10 minutes between meetings or 30 minutes for lunch that it's actually lunch and not eating while I'm working. Transitions in between work and home. All of these things help because your energy doesn't reset instantly. You can't go from a hard conversation to a strategic decision to deep focus work without paying the price. Your nervous system needs time to regulate. Your brain needs time to switch context, and you need time to breathe. And here's what's wild. When I started to add buffers, my productivity actually increased. And it was easier than I thought. Those 1 hour long meetings became 45-minute meetings, giving me that 15-minute buffer that I needed. Now, there are people that see 15 minutes in my calendar and still go and schedule a meeting. So I like to block that time as a buffer for me to decompress and transition in between activities. What I'm still struggling a little bit with, in full disclosure, is those 30-minute meetings. I can have 5 of those back to back. And if they're all about the same thing, if it's me batching those, it's totally okay as long as I build a buffer at the end. But if I'm context switching from meeting to meeting, 30 minutes, 5 times, I'm fried by the end. So I try to avoid that situation. Rule number 5, design Mondays and Fridays differently. Mondays and Fridays are different from each other and they're different from the rest of the week. The energy is just different. So I choose to design them differently. On Mondays, I like to start at a slower pace, starting my day with planning and strategy and big picture thinking. I don't schedule my hardest meetings on Monday morning. I use Mondays to ramp up, to get oriented and organized, and to set the tone for the week. Here's the thing, no matter what happens the rest of the week, how crazy my schedule gets, if I get something important done on Monday morning, then I'm already winning my week. Fridays, on the other hand, for me, are more about execution and wrapping up and admin work and more lighter meetings. I don't schedule intense deep work or difficult conversations on Friday afternoons. I usually use my Friday afternoons to close loops, to tie loose ends, to wind down, to check in with my team, and to invest time in my upskilling and learning. Because when you work with your natural weekly rhythms instead of against them, everything starts to flow better. Rule number 6, know your energy drains. For me, the fastest drainers are back-to-back meetings, especially virtual, which is my reality these days. Emotionally heavy conversations without recovery time, days with no movement, and urgent tasks that aren't actually mine, but are other people's fires that I get pulled into. Once you know what drains you, you can design against it. Maybe for you, what drains you is detailed analytical work for hours, or a large group meeting, or administrative tasks, or creative work without structure. There's no judgment here, just awareness. And once you have that awareness, you can make better choices. Your move this week, if you're looking to tackle this one, is track your week. After each meeting, each task, each activity, rate yourself on a scale 1 to 10. How energized do you feel? What drains you the fastest? And then collect all that data so you can use it to plan your weeks in a smarter way. When you design your calendar around your energy, you stop ending days depleted. You bring your best self to what matters most. You're more present and less reactive. You actually enjoy your work more. Your calendar should support you, not exhaust you. And when it does, everything changes. So here's my invitation for you. Pick one of these calendar rules and try it. And please let me know how that goes. Okay, let's move on to the next part of our conversation today, which are my energy reset strategies that work in real time. Because let's get real. Even with the best planning, your energy will drop. A meeting goes too long, someone brings you a problem, you get unexpected news, your sleep was off the night before. Life happens. So the question here is not how do I prevent energy crashes, but it's more how do I recover fast when they happen? Here are some of my go-to resets, the ones that work best for me, and the best thing, you can do them in 5 to 15 minutes. Reset number 1, the midday walk. This is my secret weapon. When I feel my focus slips or I'm getting too reactive, I walk. Not to exercise, but to reset my nervous system. Just 10 minutes, outside when possible. No phone, no podcast, no music, just walking. This works because movement metabolizes stress hormones like cortisol or adrenaline. Fresh air and sunlight help regulate the circadian rhythm. So if you can go and walk outside, that is a bonus. Stepping away from your environment can give you and your brain perspective. And the bilateral movement, that left foot, right foot movement, is naturally calming to your nervous system. I cannot overstate how much this has helped me. When I skip my walking break, I can feel the difference by 3 p.m. And when I do have that 10-minute walking break during the day, my afternoon is much clearer. That's it. Just walk for 10 minutes. Reset number 2, the 5-minute breathwork break. When I cannot leave my desk, this is what I do. I close my laptop and I set a timer for 5 minutes. And I breathe. 4 counts in, 6 counts out. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Longer exhales activate your parasympathetic nervous system. Translation, they calm you down. They signal your body that you're safe, that you're not being chased, and that you can rest. This is especially powerful before difficult conversations or big decisions. So try this. Before your next hard meeting, take a 5-minute break, close the door, close your laptop, and just breathe. Reset number 3, change your environment. Sometimes the fastest reset is just moving to a different room, different chair, different view, different space. Your brain associates environments with states. So if you're staring at the same screen in the same chair for 4, 6, 8 hours, your brain is stuck. So when you change the environment, you literally change your state. Go work from a different room or to a coffee shop or sit outside. Even just moving to a different room in your office or your house can shift your energy. Reset number 4, hydration plus real food. I can't tell you how many times I think that I'm tired when I'm actually just dehydrated or hungry. Your brain is 75% water. When you're even slightly dehydrated, cognitive function drops. And when your blood sugar crashes, so does your energy. So now, when energy drops, I ask myself, when was the last time that I drank some water? And when was the last time that I ate some protein? Usually, that's the answer. I drink 16 ounces of water. I eat something with protein and fat, like a handful of nuts or a hard-boiled egg. And within 15 minutes, my energy rebounds. The best tip I have for you is keep your water visible on your desk. If you need, set reminders so you're constantly drinking throughout the day. Reset number 5, the power of no more today. This one is hard but necessary. Sometimes the best reset is admitting that you don't have the capacity for this right now and giving yourself permission to stop. Not quit, not fail, just stop for today. Because pushing through when your tank is empty doesn't create good work. On the opposite, it creates exhaustion and resentment. How many times this has happened to me, and I'm sure it has happened to you. Something that you're working on at 4 p.m. feels impossible. But the next morning at 9 a.m., it feels totally manageable. So what I've learned is, does this absolutely need to be done today? And if my tank is empty and it's 4 p.m., I might decide just to stop, walk away. Maybe I'll come back later in the evening or just walk away for the day and come back the next morning. So what do all these reset strategies give you? They give you options. You're not longer stuck waiting for the weekend to recover. You're not relying on willpower to power through. You're actively managing your energy in real time. My invitation for you, pick one of these resets and use them when your energy drops and see what works for you. Okay, now we're getting to that energy audit that I mentioned at the beginning of the podcast episode. This is where we get specific because energy management only works when you understand your energy, not mine, not your best friend's, not some productivity guru on the internet, yours. So we're going to do a simple energy audit together. This is something I do every so often because my energy patterns change. What energized me 2 years ago now might be draining me. What works in the summer might not work in the winter. So I encourage you to use this audit on a regular basis. The goal of the audit is awareness, so you can design your life around what actually works for you. Here's how it works. Step 1. Track your energy for 1 week. For the next 7 days, I want you to pay attention, not obsessively, not with a spreadsheet, just noticing. At the end of each day, ask yourself, what gave me energy and what drained my energy? And write it down. Keep a running list either on your phone or a notebook. Here's what you're looking for. Energizers. Those are the activities, the people, the environment, the tasks that make you feel more alive, more focused, more engaged, more energized. And the drainers are the activities, the people, the environments, and tasks that make you feel depleted, heavy, and exhausted. Step number 2, it's look for patterns. After a week, look at your list. What patterns do you see? For me, I'll tell you, my energizers include things like deep work in the morning, walking outside, one-on-one conversations, creative projects, strategic work, movement, quiet time alone, and solving problems. My drainers include back-to-back meetings, context switching all day long, urgent interruptions, being on for hours without a break, administrative tasks in the morning when my brain is craving to create, to do things, more strategic kind of work. Your list will look different than mine. And that is the whole point. Step number 3 is categorize your energies. Now take your calendar from last week and categorize every activity. When I mean categorize, use color codes. You want to see a visual for what is energizing you and what is draining you. Again, energizing things, activities that actually give you energy, and draining activities that cost you more than they should. Then I also want you to reflect the energy that tasks in your calendar require of you. What are the things that are high energy required? That means tasks that need you to feel at your best, like deep work, decisions, difficult conversations. Then there are the medium energy required tasks. These are meetings, collaboration, execution tasks. And then the low energy required, that can be emails, light tasks, admin work. Step number 4, design around what you learn. This is where it gets really practical. Once you know what energizes you and what drains you, you can redesign your days differently. Here's what I personally do. I schedule energizing activities before high drain activities. If I have a tough meeting at 2 p.m., I make sure I do something energizing at 1 p.m. I batch draining activities together, so I only have to recover once. So instead of having a draining activity and then an energizing activity and then another draining activity and then an energizing activity, what I do is I consolidate all those draining tasks into one block, and then I schedule a recovery block. I also protect my high energy time for my high energy required task. I don't waste my best thinking hours on emails or admin work. I use my clearest, sharpest time to work on what matters most. I also build energizing activities into every single day, not just on the weekends. That can be walking, movement, creative work, anything that fills up your cup. Step number 5, course correct regularly. As I said before, your energy patterns will change. What works in summer might not work in the winter. What works when you're healthy might not when you're stressed. So every few months, check in. What's energizing me right now? What is draining me? Do I need to make any changes? And change accordingly. When you know your energy patterns, you stop guessing. You stop wondering why some days feel easy and others feel brutal. You start designing your life with intention, and that can change everything. So this week, I want to invite you to start your energy audit. Just track for 7 days. Write down what energizes you and what drains you. That's it, just awareness. Now, let's put all of this together into your energy management action plan, because we've covered a lot. So let's make it actionable. You don't need to do everything that I just shared. You just need to pick 3 things and start this week. Here's how. Step number 1, choose your 3. Look back at what we covered. We talk about morning non-negotiables like no phone on the first 30 minutes, having some movement, checking in with yourself, having protein and water. We also talk about calendar strategies. We talk about protecting your peak hours, batching tasks, acknowledging and protecting white space, designing days differently, knowing what drains you. We also talked about daily resets like midday walk and breath work and changing environments and hydration and permission to stop. And then we went and do an energy audit. So from all of these things, I want you to just pick 3. The 3 that felt right for you, the ones that as you were listening to me, you told yourself, yes, I need that. I want you to write down what are those 3 things. Step number 2, schedule them. Don't just try to remember the things that you heard today, but put them on your calendar. Step number 3, commit for 1 week. Just 1 week. Try those 3 things that you picked for 7 consecutive days. Not perfectly, but consistently. And then assess what worked, what didn't, what do you want to keep, what do you want to change. Step number 4, adjust and build. This is not about perfection. It's about progress. You started with those 3 things, you master them, and then you add more. That's how you build a sustainable system one habit at a time, 1 week at a time. The bigger picture here, energy management isn't one more thing to do. It's the foundation for everything else that you want to do. When your energy is supported, your work improves, you are more present, you are more patient, you build more confidence, you expand your impact. And when it's not, well, everything feels harder than it should. So protect your energy, design around your energy, honor your energy, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. And you don't have to. Now you have a system that can support you and your energy patterns. So before we go, I want to leave you with this. You are not broken. If you've been feeling exhausted despite doing all the right things, that is not a personal failure. That is a design problem. You've been trying to fit your life into systems that don't account for your energy patterns. And once you stop fighting yourself and you start designing with yourself, I promise everything gets easier. So this week, pick your 3 things, schedule them, do an energy audit, track what you notice. And then next week, we're going to talk about energy management in the workplace and in your career. How managing your energy can support your career. With that, go and design a day that actually supports you. And I can't wait to talk to you again next week here on the Leading Yourself podcast. Okay, my friend, that's all I've got for you today. But before you go, 2 quick reminders. Number 1, if we're not already friends on Instagram, let's get connected. You can find me as Leading Yourself Podcast. Number 2, make sure you're subscribed to the podcast so you never miss an episode. Thank you so much for joining me today. I am incredibly grateful that you're in this journey with me. I want to leave you with one last thought. I want to remind you that you're destined for more and that every step that you take brings you closer to becoming that best version of yourself. Embrace each day as a chance to learn, grow, and chase your dreams. The world needs you to shine brightly, so go out and show up fully and authentically. Take care, and I'll see you next time.